So my name's Andy Mannle, and I work with a group called Promise Energy. We started this about 10 years ago, and trying to build healthier communities, basically by making smarter buildings with cleaner energy. And I just feel like we live in really exciting times. There's a lot going on, and I think when we think about what's happening in our state right now, it brings to mind for me the pace of change. We have different things happening at different scales. We've probably all, many of us, been in the green building and environmental movement for a long time. California, for 10 years, has been on this path towards zero net energy, and we now, for the first time, are required to have solar on all our buildings. And it's been so successful that we're now having challenges with our utility grid. This is your old, top-down, centralized, modern utility grid framework, right? Transmission lines through the forest, generation way out in the woods, and then it's being distributed throughout these communities. And that grid is having a problem, partially because we've been so successful with our solar that we now have so much solar energy coming onto the grid. This is your morning time, here's your noon and nighttime. And over the course of the year, we're generating so much solar, every year more and more solar, that the utilities aren't just sending us energy, they're taking it and they're taking it in and then pushing it back out again. This is what we call the duck curve. Anybody heard of this? And it's big, the challenge is getting bigger and bigger every year, right? So what do we do about this? Part of it, what we need to do, is what I'm here to talk about, resiliency, energy storage, right? You take that energy and put it in a box. But really, that's the technical side. What's interesting about it, Heidi's like, what are you passionate about? What's interesting? How do these different systems converge and collide, right? So we have our economic systems, our energy systems. We're talking about a fundamental transition in our energy systems that is driven by this transition in our communication system. So we now have the tools to look inside every home and control everything from the palm of our hand. We can produce energy on site, we can store energy on site, we can control that energy, right? So it's this digital energy economy that's making this possible, right? We have wildfires sweeping our state. What do you do about it? Create microgrids. Take your solar energy, store it on site, and use it. Control your loads, heat up your water, use that power when the grid goes down, and use it in a smart way when the grid is live. And this aligns with these trends towards building electrification, electric vehicles. It can happen on a site scale. It can happen on a regional scale. We've just eliminated 3 fossil fuel peaker plants in Los Angeles and replaced them with distributed energy resources of virtual power plants, battery storage systems, right? So you get a system that is more localized, more diverse, more resilient. Instead of this top-down, one-way system, you get this really live, exciting, active network. We think of networks as being more local, more diverse, more inclusive, more complex, but the advantages they bring are that they're more resilient, more efficient, and more adaptive. If we reconcile ourselves to the fact that the pace of change isn't slowing down at all, and that we don't know what's coming around the corner, if we build systems and tools that allow ourselves to survive no matter what happens, then we're all going to be in better shape. So that's what I'm excited about. So if anybody wants to talk more about any of this stuff, I'm Elaine, and I'm happy to keep chatting.